Hey everyone, it's Sensei Victoria Whitfield, your journey partner from naturalintuition.com, welcoming you back to episode 45 of the Journeypreneur Podcast. This is your source for channeled holistic stress management techniques, guidance, inspiration, and motivation to stay on your path to rapid financial ascension and massive impact as a conscious entrepreneur. The title of this podcast episode is The Cure for Can't. The Cure for Can't. So I was just at a mastermind, and it's a nighttime mastermind. I'm on my way back home from that and had this really interesting experience that I wanted to share with you. One of the mastermind partners, he was sharing how, some of his celebrations of how in the last year he had made over $11 million in sales in one of their businesses, which caused them to buy another one. And he was just sharing how excited he was for his business, but at the same time he looked really sleepy. And I mean, we're not there that late. The mastermind only started at 7 p.m. But he had just flown in from out of state, and he's going to be going off to something like the very next day. I mean, his schedule is pretty squished, and his mastermind focus for him in particular was work-life balance, where, the business is awesome. He's really, really passionate about it. From the minute he wakes up at 5 a.m. to the minute he goes to bed, he wants to work on it, whether or not there's something going on with his girlfriend or his daughter. Nope, his business is his number one focus. And his exercise has gone down, and it was really interesting to just witness someone who is, from the entrepreneur eye, right? We look at the money, and he's doing really well, and he's getting a lot of things done, but his sense of health and mindfulness and feeling grounded and clear is what's coming up lacking, and then his relationships are starting to suffer. And so we started masterminding around, what do you really need? And so for him, he started saying that he wanted to get back to exercising. That was something that he used to do pretty often, but it fell by the wayside because he just got more and more passionate about work, going straight to his computer as soon as he woke up and getting to work, getting things done for the business. And whenever we would make a suggestion, he would say, I can't because blah, blah, blah. Or, I can't do that because I don't have enough time. I can't do that because, that's going to take time away from what I'm doing for the business. Or I can't do over and over and over again. And I'm driving back now, and this is the one nugget that I wanted to share with them that I didn't get to because of time constraints. And it came up in the podcast I started listening to called Asking Better Questions, and it's on Russell Brunson's podcast back from maybe around 2013. Sorry, it's a 6-year-old episode. And with him saying I can't, or saying, I'm focused on my business, whatever we identify ourselves as is what we become, right? So if you say I am a smoker, or I am overweight, or I'm lazy, or I am avoidant, we're going to have behaviors that are in alignment with that. Our brain cannot help but fulfill what we say we are, right? It's literally, your brain cannot help it. And so one of the mastermind partners, she pointed that out, that he's subconsciously fueling this work-life imbalance because how he sees himself, right? He's describing himself as, I am my business, or I am the one who has to do the things. But the problem, rather than just finding another thing to do, in order, such as, okay, another thing is I have to jump on the treadmill. Rather than doing that, we really got to find the cure for canting. Because if we start shoulding all over ourselves, like I should do this, I should be working out, I should be spending time with my girlfriend, I should be calling back my follow-up list, I should be emailing more, I should be doing more Facebook Lives, or whatever your version is, right? Or I should be, eating a certain way, all that type of stuff. Your behavior is not going to change if you keep shoulding on yourself. It's not. I know that firsthand, right? We all know that firsthand. It's really, it reinforces the addiction. It reinforces the bad behavior through this kind of twisted way of like, well, I'm beating myself up about it. But the more you beat yourself up about what you're not doing, the more focused you are on what you're not doing. And where your focus goes is where your energy flows. That's just the way the world works. It's just the way the universe works, right? Wherever your awareness goes, energy flows. Whatever you place your awareness on, it expands, right? So if you keep talking about, well, I am fat, my stomach's fat, I can't work out. I should work out, but I can't because, I gotta send this email, or I gotta take this phone call, etc. The focus remains on the fat and not on curing the problem. There's a phenomena called apophenia. So it's a neurological phenomena of filling in the blank, where your brain cannot resist filling in the blank. And this is, you ever seen that show Wheel of Fortune, right? And they have like is it Wheel of Fortune? What was that show where the letters in the middle of words would be missing, right? And you had to fill it in. I'm going to remember it at a different time. Or you know what? Send me an email back, team@victoriawhitfield.com. Tell me what the name of that show was, and that you want your free gift, because I'm going to give you something special if you tell me what the name of that show was. But apophenia is the phenomenon where you can't help yourself. Where if there's a gap in the middle of a word, right, such as H-E blank R-T, you're gonna fill in the A. It's like, it's heart. The word is heart. H-E blank R-T, that's heart. Your brain is automatically filling in the gap. It's called apophenia. So you want to use this phenomena, this neurological, psychological phenomena, to your advantage when you have a case of the can'ts. If you're finding yourself, like our friend did at the Mastermind, where you're doing amazing and you're shooting all over yourself, which means you have a case of the can'ts, so you're canting all over yourself around something, here's the cure for canting. Are you ready? The cure for I can't is, how can I? Right? If we go back to the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he shares that, and how he does it is he says rich versus poor. Poor people say I can't. Rich people say how can I? And this came up another day, actually at the last strategic spa retreat that I was leading. And we were sitting around during Mastermind time at the strategic spa retreat. We're right next to the fire, all camped out at the inn. And one of the attendees, her issue for the Mastermind was, I'm not really tied to my job. I think I really want to find a way to leave, but I don't have enough money. I can't make this kind of money elsewhere. I don't know how to do it. And so I asked her about an exercise that one of my mentors originally taught me Fabienne Fredrickson, which is awesome, called the 50 Ways to Make Money Now, where you just literally sit yourself down, numbers 1 through 50 on a piece of paper, and then just start writing 50 different ways to make money right now. And I asked her, okay, Isabel, did you do that? And she said, yeah, I did. And so I came up with like a $37, like, come cook things with me, or I could walk this person's dog for $20 and blah, 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 blah. And here's the issue where she's like, but I can't leave my, like, I can't leave my position where I'm making like over $150,000 a year or whatever she's making, right? You know, she's making good money in her big, beautiful New York City job, walking dogs for $20. That's sort of a thing. She's like, I can't do that. I'm like, okay, maybe we need to ask a better question. So for that, the way that we turned it around, I asked her, okay, how much money do you want to make? She's like, oh, well, you know, $5,000 a month would be a great starting place. I think that could, you know, give me a leg up. So it comes out to $60,000 a year, right? So that gives her a way to start making things happen. And so I asked her, okay, so how can you make $5,000 a month? Or how can you make $5,000? It's not that I can't afford something for $5,000 or I can't make $5,000, but if that's the goal, right, and we're super clear on that's the number that we're trying to manifest, that question of how can I immediately ignites that part of the brain, right, that phenomenon called apophenia, where you have to fill in the blanks. You're compelled to fill in the blanks. All right, well, I could refer this many people to come to retreats with Victoria, and I would have $5,000 right there, right? So, she works with me privately, so she gets $500 a person, whereas someone who doesn't work with me privately, but who's an affiliate of mine, that they get half of that. So for her, only she need to do, like, literally, and I got to say this to her, you are sitting across from your biggest income opportunity. And like, I leaned in, and she's sitting there like, what? And here we are, right? So for her, the opportunity to ask that visionary question of how can I do this, right? And then she started coming up with these amazing ideas of like, well, I can, you know, you can fly me out, so it's $5,000 plus travel expenses, but I would be able to curate these foods or things for you because she's a chef, or I could animate your info product, $5,000, blah, 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 blah. How can I, right? How can I? Rather than canting. So rewinding back now to our soul brother at the Mastermind tonight, where he just kept coming back with answers of, well, I can't because of da-da-da, and I can't because of da-da-da, right? Over and over and over again. And sure, maybe he was tired, right? Because he's got jet lag because his schedule is overstuffed, which is the problem that he's trying to solve. And at the same time, mixing his I can'ts with but I should, it was so hard for our group to get through to him. And what he needs the most right now is, if he's not going to ask himself, how can I? It's got to be someone else confronting him and saying, how can you get on the treadmill first thing every morning? Or how can you, like one of our other mastermind members saying, how can you start the day off 2 minutes for your girlfriend, right? Figure it out. Figure it out. And allowing that apophenia to take over so that the creative mind, which you have on autopilot, rises up to support you in becoming the greatest version of yourself, right? And really shifting gears to be the person that you really are meant to be. So I just wanted to share that cure for I can't, in case you have found yourself saying that, right? And by the way, if you are saying I can't because you choose not to, please make sure that you are clear with yourself that I am choosing not to rather than saying I can't. You always have a choice. I love one of my VIP clients, Stacy. She always says I choose not to because she's being mindful, right? And staying super conscious about her words because words have power. I can't is a pretty useless phrase, especially for someone who's living a conscious lifestyle, who's a conscious entrepreneur like you and I. So if you really are choosing not to, say, I choose not to. But if you're trying to give yourself an excuse or let yourself off of the hook, I would challenge you, if only just for now, right? Or as we say in Reiki, if only just for today, try it on for size. How can I? And give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. Maybe it's 5 minutes. Maybe it's 10 minutes. Maybe it's 20 or an hour. But a good chunk of time to sit down and allow that apopenia to take its toll. Right? To soak in and just fill in the blanks. You'll be surprised. It's amazing the ideas that start to flow into you. And it's not just from your own mind. Source is behind you, right? Or the angels are behind you. I know my spirit guides are always whispering ideas in my mind, but it's because I've asked questions that would trigger that creative, that visionary, that intuitive mind to be able to step in and really fill in the blanks. So that's it for today's episode. Make sure you head on over to naturalintuition.com and click on the quiz button. If you scroll to the bottom there, you click and take our quiz. If you've been feeling stressed, stuck, or scattered in your business, and you're trying to figure out what's the main thing that's holding you back and what you need the most right now, if you take that assessment down there, put in your information, it'll send you an email back of exactly what the problem is and what you need the most right now. So go ahead, naturalintuition.com, scroll to the bottom, there's the assessment down there, the Abundance Breakthrough quiz. Take that and start the shift today. All right. Thank you so much, by the way. I appreciate you for tuning into the Journeypreneur Podcast. I would also super appreciate if you could give us a like or a review or subscribe. It always helps for us to reach more people and inspire them to stay on their path as well to rapid financial ascension and massive impact as a conscious entrepreneur. But please remember to enjoy the journey. Don't lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And I'll see you in the next podcast. Mwah! Bye for now.